The girl that you see on Instagram, who cares? She's doing it for herself, whatever. She's pretty, good for her. That does not take away from you and has nothing to do with your looks, and it doesn't make you feel or look any differently. It'll make you feel differently if you give it that importance that that person looks more prettier than you or is better than you, when they're actually not. It's the way you're perceiving things, and it's the way that you're looking at things that are leading you to believe that. Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of my series. I'm calling this the To Be Honest podcast because honestly, I love being very honest. I'm a very honest person in the way that I speak, and I just like speaking from the heart and speaking the truth, okay? In today's episode, I'm going to be discussing why we care so much about our looks and why you should try to not give so much importance to just your looks and try to basically pull yourself back from that and think about the way you feel more than the way that you look. Now, looks are obviously very important at the end of the day. You obviously clicked on this video for a reason, because you like the way that the thumbnail looked, okay? When you read a book, you obviously look at the way the book cover looks, okay? Looks are important. First impressions are important. And I'm not saying that you should never, ever put effort into your looks or stop caring fully what you look like, because again, it is one aspect of your life. My only thing is that it should not be the whole aspect of your life or your whole reason of existing or the only thing that you care about. Looks will only take you so far. It's what's in here that'll take you further, okay? Why do we care so much about what people think what we look like? Or at least, why do we care about what we look like? Why do we put so much emphasis on our looks when really, once you change your mentality and the way you think, that's where true confidence shows. Confidence is literally a mentality at the end of the day. The way you hold yourself, you don't even have to look pretty or put together to actually be or look confident to the other person and even to yourself. So I want to talk about this concept of decentering your looks and how this will literally change the way you perceive yourself, how you think others perceive you, and how you approach life. Because when you stop giving so much importance to the way you look, as basically saying that if you stop caring that your looks are everything, if you stop thinking about the fact that your looks are everything, you will go far in life, because you will literally not give a crap about what anyone has to say about what you physically look like. You will not give a single crap of what anyone thinks what you physically look like. Now, let's be honest. First impressions are obviously very important, and we judge people based off of what they look like. We even judge ourselves based off of what we may look like. Sometimes when you're not put together or well dressed, you literally already put yourself in that mindset where you're just oh, I'm in my PJs, it's lazy day, I'm already in that mood, I'm not going to do anything. Or even sometimes when you feel like you're not put together and you walk out and you start speaking to someone, you're yeah, my hair is really messy today, I'm having a really bad hair day. People really don't notice until you point it out. And now they're going to start perceiving you the way that you are physically perceiving yourself. And this is why there's so much importance in the way you look, because when I think about the way you look, I think of it more as taking care of yourself. Are you taking care of yourself? You don't need to look the best. You really don't need to look the best. But are you taking care of yourself? I think it's the fact that we give way too much importance or focus to our looks as if they are everything. As if that's the most important aspect about us, when it's really not. It's an important aspect for sure, and the way you do represent yourself in society is very important, because it shows how you take care of yourself and how you view yourself. But at the end of the day, looks are only part of the equation. It's only a tiny minuscule part of the equation, because when you take that away, what do you have? What is left? Okay, so I wrote down, I have a whole big thing on my iPad right now. When you don't care anymore, you won't give unnecessary focus to that. We, again, place so much importance on our looks that we only sometimes give attention to just looks. You tend to judge a book by its cover, and you think other people are going to judge you by the way that you look too. And they probably will, okay? They probably will, but there's still more to that. I could pick out a few things right now that I might not feel fully confident about my looks, but I honestly, the way that I'm speaking right now and me not even mentioning anything, you probably don't think I'm thinking anything. And honestly, it's because I've put myself in that mindset to like not care about that at all, okay? Decenter the way that you think you look. Decenter the importance that you give your looks. Okay, now let's think about this. You ever feel like whenever you start to like put in extra effort into your looks, or like if you dress up a little bit more than usual, or you put on some makeup and you actually like put yourself and make yourself look more well put together than you usually do, you feel this random urge of confidence? It's because once you've made yourself look good, you start to feel good. And that energy shift that you get from putting that effort into looking good makes you act even better, makes you feel more confident in yourself, and you start to like put your best foot forward when you step out, okay? Or even if you're still inside, you feel good about yourself. That's the main goal, feeling good about yourself. That's the reason that we care about our looks so much, is because we want to feel good about ourselves, okay? And that's why I'm saying that if you just place importance on when you look good, you feel good, that's not stable. Because if you ever don't look good, or you feel like you don't look good, you're not going to feel good either. Now, sometimes if you're just being like, you know, an actual hot mess and not taking care of yourself and like not brushing your hair, the issue might be something else. But that issue would be that you're not respecting yourself, or at least you're not taking care of yourself, okay? Which sometimes is understandable. Sometimes we have those days, but it's about picking yourself back up, okay? And still making yourself feel good and presentable to yourself, okay? And the reason I say this is because you can still put effort into your looks, wear something new that makes you feel good. It doesn't have to look good, it doesn't have to look the best, but if it makes you feel good, you will think that you look good. That's literally how it works, okay? And that's where I say you kind of get this like energy shift. When you start to feel better about yourself, you start to do better. You start to act better, and you look at life in a sort of different lens. You start to shift the way you look at things, okay? I wrote over here, you feel better about who you are on the inside, which eventually is reflected on the outside. And that's why I say it's important. Growing up, I placed a lot of importance on my looks. That if I wasn't pretty, or if I didn't look good enough, then I wasn't good enough. If I didn't look a certain way, or if I didn't have this certain thing, then I just wouldn't be good enough. And you probably would have guessed I was very insecure about myself, even though I literally was not ugly at all, but I felt ugly. And I thought I was ugly because I felt ugly, okay? I gave so much importance to my looks, especially when I was younger. Because that's what people would judge you by, okay? People would judge you by the way you look. And again, I'm not saying that people aren't going to judge you by the way you look and that you shouldn't do anything or not take care of yourself. That's not the point. The point is that you should not place that importance or that focus on just your looks as a means to who you are or your worth as a person. It can be interrelated, but it shouldn't be the only reason or the only thing that's giving you that confidence, because that's not reliable. So like I was saying, yes, looks do impact the way that you may act or you may feel about yourself, but that's exactly why I'm saying to not place that kind of importance on just your looks, because if again you weren't ever to look good, you're not going to feel good, and you don't want that, okay? Now you're probably thinking, okay, Orooj, okay, at this point I understand why you're saying this stuff, because you obviously don't want just your physical or outer appearance to be the reason why you feel good about yourself or your reason for why you think other people would like you. Now, how do you change the way you think about that if you've been like thinking like that like your whole life? Honestly, it starts by accepting yourself. I used to be the girl that I didn't wear a lot of makeup, like makeup wise, like, you know, like actual like mascara, eyeliner, a lipstick and all the other stuff, okay? But I used to have like really bad acne when I was younger, when I was in my teens, and I would always cover it up. Whenever I stepped out of the house, I would always cover it up no matter what. I would not leave the house without makeup, or at least covering it up at least a little bit or something, okay? And that went on for a good while. And I am barefaced right now. My skin is doing a lot better than it was back then. But it's also because I started to accept the fact that this is what I look like. And I want to feel good and comfortable in the way I naturally look. And I don't want to rely on makeup to make me feel good. That I can't feel confident or won't feel confident unless I'm wearing makeup. So the way I had to slowly do it was I had to transition from wearing makeup every single time I stepped out of the house to doing things that made me uncomfortable. Stepping outside of the house without makeup. Now maybe I think I probably started by wearing less or cutting down on the amount that I used to use, or I would practice in low stake situations, like if I were to just go for a walk in my neighborhood. It sounds stupid, it does, but if I were to just like take a walk in my neighborhood, I don't need to wear makeup for that. Okay? Those are like low stake situations to me. Once you start to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, it becomes easier. Okay? Now, as a part of accepting yourself, that takes time. You're not gonna just change like that unless something really big impacts you where you're like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore and I can't do it, and then you just change. Sometimes that happens for some people. For some people, you have to gradually make yourself more comfortable with being okay with the way that you look, okay? People complain about their features, say that they don't have good features. Bro, everybody's supposed to look different. Everybody's meant to look different. If everybody looked the exact same, how the hell would you differentiate anyone? You are beautiful regardless of what you think. The only way I started to find myself and feel beautiful is when I started to actually tell myself that I was beautiful, okay? And it starts from within, and it starts by accepting your flaws, because everybody's flawed. Everybody has flaws, and flaws is what makes us human at the end of the day, okay? Nobody's gonna be perfect. Nobody wants to be perfect. You tell yourself that, yeah, you're a perfectionist, or you feel like you need to be a certain way. You just feel that way, but you don't actually want to be perfect. You want to feel comfortable. You want to feel good in yourself and who you are. Okay? Looks are only a part of the equation. It just means that you take care of yourself and it's how you represent yourself, but it's not everything. Okay? There's so much more to who you are as a person than just looks. And that will take you far. Once you change into that mindset where you don't care what other people think of you, what you physically look like, and you're not stopping yourself or mentally blocking yourself just based off of what's on the outside, you will thrive, you will fly, you will go places, because your mind is not thinking about just this anymore. It's thinking about what's going on in here. You will open up and be comfortably yourself around people. Your energy will change. Your energy will show your confidence, and people will feel that. And once they feel that and that you feel like you can truly be yourself, that's when life starts to change. That's when you finally have like control over yourself, because now you don't give that importance or that control away to people, or even to yourself, that just the outside matters. Because sometimes people might say a remark or something about your appearance and it makes you question who you are as a person. Like, why are those two so correlated so fast? People have said things to me. I used to take it to heart before, and I felt like it would impact my confidence and my self-esteem, and that it was true. First of all, I thought it was true, and that it had to do with something with who I am as a person. Growing up, once you start to learn these things, it doesn't matter. People say things because that's how they view themselves too. So I say the best way to combat this is by taking things slow and putting yourself in situations where you would normally feel uncomfortable. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And look at the final goal of why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Because you're doing this because you want to feel good in yourself and who you are as a person. And looks is just one tiny part of that. There's a whole person here, okay? There's a whole person with a whole fulfilling life. It's more than just looks, okay? And honestly, it's all a mindset shift at the end of the day. Once you make the mindset shift, everything else begins to move around with that, everything else will start to move in the right direction as well, okay? Now I wrote like 5 points here. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't copy. Don't compete. Be yourself fully. Let's actually look through this. Keep it simple. At the end of the day, we think much more deeply into these things than they actually are. We think people care when they actually don't. Nobody cares about yourself like the way that you do. No one cares. Everybody is thinking about stuff. The way that you are thinking about yourself is the way that people are thinking about themselves, okay? You think that they're looking at you. They're not. They probably are looking at you in the moment, but you think they're gonna actually remember who you are or care? No. And if they do care, that's weird. That's weird on them, okay? That's weird on them if they care so much. Don't complicate it. It's not supposed to be so serious. It feels very serious sometimes, especially when you care so much about what you look like. And we're human at the end of the day. Like, even at times when you feel super confident, something might bring you back to not feeling confident. And with anything in life, it's a habit that you're continuously building. It's a mindset that you're continuously building. You don't feel until you stop. So if you stop trying to change your mindset, if you stop talking kindly to yourself, then obviously you will probably go back to the old ways that you would think, because you're letting those negative thoughts be stronger than your positive ones. Everything is a habit that you're building at the end of the day. Everything's a practice that you're building, that you're working on at the end of the day. And don't ever stop. Always be kindly to yourself, because you are the only person you should trust, okay? And there's moments that you probably are feeling lower down. Never trust yourself in those moments to think that what you're thinking negatively about yourself is the truth, because it's not, okay? You're feeling something, you're emotional, you're in a mood, and it's normal, because we all are humans at the end of the day. We have a bunch of emotions, okay? It's about reminding yourself and remembering that you're accepting yourself, you're respecting yourself, and that you care about who you are as a person. And that is more than just one tiny aspect of your life, okay? Don't copy. Now I'm trying to think what I meant by this. Oh, that came to me quick. Don't copy basically means like, what's trendy? What's trending right now? Sometimes we feel like in order to feel good about our looks, we have to do what other people are doing. That's not necessarily true. You can be inspired by people. You can feel like you're a part of a community when you do dress a certain way. I agree with that. But only following trends because you think that's what the norm is or that's what people will like is weird. It's weird, and it's not honest to yourself. Do it because you like it. Do it because it makes you feel good. Do it because it makes you feel confident. Not because other people are doing it, and not because other people will accept you because you're doing it that way, okay? Never change the way you think, and never compromise your morals or your beliefs for anyone, because then you're not being true to yourself, and then you're not gonna respect yourself. You're not gonna feel good about yourself, because at that point you're valuing other people's opinions about you than you are of yourself, which is really, I think a lot of these things do come with experience. And the more that you start to value your opinion and respect yourself is when you start to care less about what others have to say. What else did I write? Don't compete. You are not in competition with anybody except yourself. Remember that, okay? I don't freaking know. I was gonna say something like Lucy walking down the sidewalk. Yeah, she looks great. But that's her, okay? It has nothing to do with how you look, and that doesn't take away from your looks at all, okay? It'll make more sense if I say Lucy on Instagram, okay? Not Lucy walking down the street. But yeah, the girl that you see on Instagram, who cares? She's doing it for herself, whatever. She's pretty, good for her. That does not take away from you and has nothing to do with your looks. And it doesn't make you feel or look any differently. It'll make you feel differently if you give it that importance, that that person looks more prettier than yours, better than you, when they're actually not. It's the way you're perceiving things, and it's the way that you're looking at things that are leading you to believe that. But don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. I'm guilty of doing this, and sometimes I still do it to this day. But I remind myself, because I know I'm beautiful, and other people can be beautiful too. I am not in competition with anybody except myself. And at the end of the day, I'm not competing with myself so that I look better every single day. I'm competing with the negative side of myself who will try to bring me back to how I used to think, or yeah, basically battling those negative thoughts. That's who I'm in competition with, okay? And be yourself fully. Just be you, man. If you don't even know who you are, figure it out. That's where you experiment a little bit and you see what makes you feel and look good. But be yourself. Like how I was saying, don't copy people. Don't do it because someone else is doing it. Don't do it because someone else is telling you to do it. Do it because you want to do it. You truly feel good about yourself. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel confident, okay? Simple as that. For example, I got some new piercings actually. I got them because I wanted to get them, okay? I probably was inspired by my friends and family. But I only ever did it when I felt comfortable or felt like I wanted to do it. Not because someone was telling me, oh, you should do it. You would look so much better with it. People do inspire you and make you feel better. Like, yeah, you would look good with it, but only do it if you want to do it, okay? Only do it if you want to do it. I only did it recently too. I don't know what counts as being pretty old for having piercings. I don't even think that's a thing. But like, I've seen people with more piercings than me who are younger. But it doesn't matter. Do whatever you do for whenever you want to do it, okay? That sounds like a big jumble of words I'm saying right now, so I hope it makes sense. I wrote over here, decentering looks means to look within yourself and like yourself, regardless, because at the core, you know who you are and what you want, and you shouldn't care what others will think of you, okay? And I think it has to do with our ego a little bit. We want to look good. We want to feel like people look at us and they think that we're great just because of how we look on the outside. We want to feel that confidence or little ego boost people will give us by the way that they look at us when they see us, if we're looking great, you know? Or if someone compliments us, it'll make us feel better. It will make you feel better. And sure, compliments are amazing. They do make you feel nice. But it should never let you waver in the way that you feel about yourself. Give yourself compliments, man. Give yourself compliments. So that even if no one else is giving you compliments, you still feel good about yourself. It also has to do with your sense of self and your sense of security. So I talked about security a lot throughout this video, basically about how you feel about yourself or how accepting you are of yourself and how you respect yourself. But I think it has to do with yourself as well. If you don't like yourself, you're obviously not gonna respect yourself and you're not gonna take care of your looks, or you're gonna care what other people have to say because you don't like yourself. So I would recommend working on that first. How can you make yourself like yourself better? Do things that make you feel good. Learn things about yourself. Try hobbies that inspire you and make you feel like you can actually do things. You need to basically figure out who you are and figure out there's always something good to like about yourself. You have to figure those things out and remind yourself of those things, okay? Like yourself, okay? Love yourself, man. No one else is gonna do it the way you do it. And at the end of the day, when you have nobody, you only have yourself at the end of the day, so you want to feel good about yourself, okay? Don't do things for looks and don't do it for other people's validation. Now, are you really trying to validate yourself or are you trying to validate others? The way that you're putting so much effort or importance into your looks, is it because you want to do it for yourself, or you feel like that's because you care too much about what other people have to say about you? Why do you care so much about what other people have to say about you? Why? Why are we giving that much importance to other people, especially random strangers on the internet, in real life? Why? Just think a little bit. I really do think that when someone really doesn't like themselves, or they're not in love with themselves, or they don't feel that care and respect for themselves, that's where that lack of trust comes, and that you start to believe what everybody else has to say about you. And then you start to give that more importance than what you give yourself importance. This all does come with experience and with learning. But it's a good thing to open your mind to that and realize that. Why do you care so much about what other people have to say more than what you have to say about yourself? You know yourself best. You know yourself better than anybody else does. So why do you trust and care and value someone else's opinion more than your own? Always be pushing yourself. Always be working on yourself. This is not an excuse to be lazy and not put any effort into yourself just because you don't care. I'm not saying to not care. I'm saying to care for the right reasons, okay? That's my goal within this episode, is to just make sure that you're caring for the right reasons. Be healthy, okay? I'm a very big advocate for moving your body. I don't care how you do it. Go on walks, go to the gym, do yoga. I love yoga. I do it every week. It's so much fun. But basically, oh, I moved the camera. Basically, do it for yourself and move your body, because you know that there's certain things that will make you look good, but it'll also make you feel good at the same time. Whenever I do a workout, I feel so much better about myself because I feel more capable and I feel more strong. And that makes me like myself a little bit more too. And I also get to look good in the process. So it's like killing two birds with one stone, okay? That's one thing. Basically moving your body. I mentioned this before in like other videos as well. Another thing would to basically be to read so that you can learn more about the world or things that interest you, and write. Write about how you're feeling so that you understand yourself better. Journaling, I love journaling. Journaling has got me through some tough times in my life just because everything was like running in my head and I just needed to get it out. When you write it down, you can actually look at what you wrote and like think, why did I write that? Why do I feel that way? What does that mean? And I love to look back on those things because I see my growth of what I used to think before and how I think now. I honestly love that, and it's very motivating to look back at that. And that's how I also remind myself of how far I've come. So why stop now? Keep going, okay? You give importance to things at the end of the day in your life. And if you give importance to your looks, that is, again, totally fine. That's okay. But if you're just giving importance to your looks, that is not okay. Because you are way more than just the way that you look outside. You are way more than your physical. And you should not let that be the main determining factor of what you do, how you feel about yourself, what you want to go after in life. Don't stop yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Work on these things for yourself, okay? You will feel so much better when you start to put work into these things. And when you start to decenter the way that you look, the way that you appear, because it all starts again with a mindset shift. Once you change the way you think about it, you will change the way that you feel, okay? And again, along the way, you will learn to even look better too. I've never said that you shouldn't put effort into your looks or you should stop caring fully what you look like. Because again, looks are important. Looks are very important. It's like the thumbnail of this video. You clicked it because the thumbnail was appealing to you, okay? But it's not everything, and I want you to know that, okay? I want you to trust yourself and remember to just keep working towards liking who you are as a person. Everything else will just come with that. Once you change the way you think, everything else will just follow, okay? Looks can be a very big distraction from life because, again, when you give so much importance to that, everything you do in life will always be run by those thoughts. And that's not healthy at all whatsoever, okay? So just remember, take your looks off the pedestal. You are way more than you look. You are beautiful inside and out. Work towards it. Sometimes you'll feel like crap, but that's when you just gotta pick yourself back up again, okay? You got this. I trust you. Write down reference points that you can look back to see how much you've grown and how much you've changed the way that you think about yourself. And remember, you're worthy no matter what. Okay, there's always something special and something beautiful to find within ourselves. Beauty is found where you look for it, okay? So look for the good things, focus on the good things, and just keep trying, never give up, okay? Now, if you guys made it all the way to the end of this video, you guys are the real ones, and you guys have a great attention span, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below because I would like to know what you guys are thinking, and I will catch you guys in the next one then. Okay, bye guys.